Hello, welcome to Wicked Wednesdays with the Water Witch. I'm Anlin, and this is take 4. My computer's acting up today, which is really frustrating me. So, I've been talking about a whole bunch of different things for quite a while, but you'll never get to hear them because they disappeared into internet land somewhere. So, what I decided to do is this will probably be short, and we are going to talk about the chalice and how that actually can be representative of balance in our life. So, in short, I had a presentation yesterday for one of my classes, and I spent quite a bit of time and effort and thought in putting it together, and it was for my Women as Healers class, and one of the topics that I was able to choose was on witchcraft, so I decided to do a presentation on witchcraft. Well, probably not the best idea for a witch to teach a bunch of young college students about witchcraft, especially when they have no experience. There was one other girl in the class that is Wiccan. She's actually second generation Wiccan, which is pretty interesting. And she appreciated the presentation, but I actually didn't get as many points as I wanted on it, because it was overkill. There was just way too many things that I talked about, and I think that it just overwhelmed everybody. So that kind of brings us to the next thing that I want to talk about, and that we're going to kind of circle back around to what I was just telling you. So the first thing here is I want to tell you about Chalice and how it's a sacred vessel, and I'm going to show you two that I have. So the first one here is this one. It is blue, and it has the Welsh dragon on it etched in there. And for me, this is the perfect chalice because it's blue for the water. I have talked about in past videos about how the Avalonian traditions and the Welsh mysteries are very important to me, so this is very much a representation of that. The other one, bear with me just a second, is right here, and this was a gift to myself for this holiday season. I finally had saved enough money to get it. I'd been coveting it for quite some time. It's handmade by a lovely artist called Clay Chimera, and it is the perfect water witch or mermaid or selkie or whatever path you follow or resonate with chalice. So here it is. It's absolutely stunning. I love the waves and the barnacles and how they just wrap all the way around. Give it a nice little twist. The whole thing. And on the inside, it's really nicely done with spirals. And one of the things that I think is so neat is just her attention to detail with these barnacles. I mean, it's just absolutely stunning. And there is a super surprise in here, and this is one of the reasons I love her work so much, is she loves to slip in little tiny things. So on this beautiful chalice that is light and bright, we have right here a skull. And so this is perfect for me because it really brings in the water and the light half of life and the dark half with the little skull, you know. I love how it has the aspect of the dark embedded into the light. Depending on the time of year, I practice with two different altars in two different spaces. Actually, one's right here in front of me and another behind me. And so I work with the water with very goddess-based energies and healing. And sea magic. I am a landlocked sea witch, but that doesn't stop me from visiting the beaches and the natural water that we have around here. And the other half of the year, I don't really split it into one half and the other half. It's very balanced. So just the other half of my practice is based very much on the darker practices, very traditional witchcraft, very ancestor-based, and it is represented by a lot of like blacks and reds, where the lighter half of my practice is represented by the water type colors. So I said that we would circle back to my presentation that I talked about earlier, and with this presentation, the thing that I found was really interesting and that has kind of inspired this blog today is the concept of there is such thing as too much. And I am really guilty of this because I am an artist in several different mediums. I'm a dancer, I'm a full-time student and priestess and witch and mother, and I'm working as an herbalist apprentice, and there's so many things that I do. So there is such thing as too much. Someone had suggested to me earlier that I pick up a new talent because I would be very good at it. And as much as I'm really interested in this particular thing, I can't. There's just no way. So I find it interesting how these things seem to flow together. So the chalice represents us, or our individual self. It does represent the feminine and the womb and like the cauldron of knowledge, but it doesn't just stop there. It really can just represent each of us. This chalice here represents me, and everything that I put in this chalice is everything that I do. And if I don't do anything, then I don't put anything into my chalice, and it's just empty and boring and no good. And if I do too much, then I continue to put things into my chalice, and it overflows. And you don't really get to choose when you filled your chalice too much what you lose. It just kind of spills over where it happens to have too much. So, that really speaks to things like burnout, overkill, overdoing it. So that, unfortunately, is going to be the end of today's Wicked Wednesday because I've been talking all day, I feel like. And I'm really sorry that the other videos didn't work. So I will just end and say thank you so much for watching Wicked Wednesdays with the Water Witch. I will see you next week. And remember, don't fill your chalice too much, and don't leave your chalice empty, but make sure that you fill it just enough so that you're full and balanced. Don't swing the pendulum so far in one direction that the automatic and natural reaction is for the pendulum to swing back the other direction. Find balance and fill your chalice only as much as you can actually hold. Don't fill it more than that. Have a wonderfully Wicked Wednesday.